What's happening, everybody? Hope you're having a great day today. If you don't already know, my name is Andy. This is That Car Vlog channel, and the vehicle we're featuring today is the 2023 Ford Explorer Timberline. So in March of 1990, the same month that I was born, coincidentally, Ford introduced the first generation Ford Explorer for the 1991 model year, and it was one of the first true family-oriented SUVs. It wasn't one of the first SUVs overall. There were plenty of those: Ford Bronco, Chevy Blazer, Dodge Ram Charger, that kind of thing. But the Explorer was the first one that was meant to be a family vehicle, and that's exactly what it was. In fact, I had two of them back in my 20s, and I can tell you from my ownership, it was a pretty comfortable, for the 1990s, mid-size SUV that you could carry the family in mostly comfortably. It got okay gas mileage considering the 4-liter V6 that was under the hood, and you could also take it off-road. They're available in 2- and 4-wheel drive. They're available in 2- and 4-door configurations, and actually Mazda made one known as the Navajo that was their kind of differently dressed version of that Explorer. 33 years later, here I am standing in front of the latest one, which, in all fairness, 2023 is not the first year of this generation Explorer or this body style, but here we are. Before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out and special thanks to the folks at Ted Russell Ford of Knoxville, Tennessee, for allowing me to use this Explorer for today's review. They've got 2 stores here in Knoxville. This one is borrowed from their Parkside Drive location. These are great people to deal with and very generous folks for being the first ones in town to lend me new vehicles. Definitely, once you're done watching this video, check them out at the link in the description below. So like I said a second ago, this is the new Ford Explorer Timberline. Now, the new Explorer is available in multiple trim options, ranging from just a base model all the way up to the sporty ST and even the high luxury King Ranch edition. But this is your somewhat mid-trim but off-road version of the Explorer, known as the Timberline. So let's go ahead and get started on the outside of the car like I usually do on this channel, right here up front. And first, let's take a look at this color. Now, the Explorer Timberline is available in 6 different colors. This one I think is the best for an off-road themed vehicle. This is known as Forest Green Metallic. Definitely a shiny forest green. Definitely like that. Taking a look at the headlights here, you got Explorer stamped into the shiny plastic here. You do have dark headlight housings with full LED headlights and signals. Coming down from that, you get LED fog lights. Going back up and over to the grille, this is a different grille specific to the Timberline. And what you're going to see that's special about this grille is right here. It's got these panels, I guess you could call them. They kind of look like knockouts. This is actually a provision for mounting Ford's optional LED off-road lights, grille mounted. That is an option that costs just a little over $500. But what's really cool about this is all you have to do is get the lights if you want to upgrade to it. The wiring is in there, and even the switch on the dash is there. You can either get those, or you can use that wiring and switch to wire on whatever you want. Coming down here, you can see below the grille, you get the Timberline logo stamped into that plastic there. And I love these red, I think they're more orange really, these orange accents. You get that orange accent that runs all the way across here in the front. And then of course you get the orange recovery hooks. If we get down a little bit further, you're going to see you also get steel skid plating in key areas, especially in the front. Zooming in here on the wheels and tires, you get these black 18-inch alloy wheels that are specific to the Timberline trim, as well as from the factory Bridgestone Dueler all-terrain tires. You get this black plastic fender trim, which looks good on the Timberline, although it is available on most Explorer models anyways. Coming down the side, you see you get black down here on the bottom, more black plastic kind of cladding with some shiny trim. That's really not exclusively a Timberline thing. That's, once again, something that's available on most Explorers, but it looks good on this edition of the vehicle. But now, a few more things that make this vehicle more capable than most other Explorer trims are, first of all, a suspension lift. So Ford has actually taken this suspension system from the Explorer Police Interceptor. It's got cop suspension, put it on this Timberline, gave it those bigger wheels, and you get almost a full inch additional ground clearance over a standard Explorer. I think right around 0.8 or something like that. Also, up underneath the rear here, you're going to get a Torsen limited slip differential, making this, again, more capable off-road, so you're less likely to get stuck. Coming around the back, it definitely doesn't look as special or Timberline-y as the rest of the car does. You do get a Timberline badge right here in the left corner of the lift gate, and of course you get your 4-wheel drive right here. You see right here, this Explorer is equipped with a factory tow package. Your Explorer Timberline is capable of towing right in the neighborhood of 5,000 to 5,300 pounds, and that's mainly because of all the additional off-road options attached to it. Other versions of the Explorer are capable of towing up to right around 5,600, so just a few hundred more, depending of course on trim and engine options, that kind of thing. Now, getting into the Explorer, first thing we're going to look at is right here on your door pillar. And right here you see you have Ford's classic numeric keypad for entering the vehicle. Ford has been doing this for a very long time, since the 90s. You get a unique 5-digit code you can use to lock or unlock the vehicle without the key. It used to be buttons down here on the door. Now it's capacitive stuff right here on the pillar. Opening said door, and here we're going to see the only interior scheme available on the Explorer Timberline, and that is this color right here, known as Deep Cypress. And then you got right here, you got these tangerine accents that run all throughout this interior through that deep cypress color. So looking at the overall door panel, it is pretty nice. You get your nice tweeter grill here with your B&O logo for the optional Bang & Olufsen sound system in here. That is a part of the Timberline technology package. A little bit of shiny accents here, full power windows, auto up and down in the front. Of course, you got power adjustable mirrors that also fold, which is another feature of the Timberline technology package, the folding mirrors. Looking here at your front seats, they are fully power adjustable and heated. You see the deep cypress color with the tangerine stitching continues onto the seats, and then you get these center inserts that are almost like this, I'm going to call it a heather gray color, and you get the Timberline logo embossed into the seat right there. Now these are not leather. These are what Ford calls Active X, which is a material made of, from what I've found online, mostly recycled plastic bottles. So it is recycled material, supposed to be much easier to clean, and it can take slightly harsher chemicals than leather can. So if you get out there and get this thing real dirty, or your kids get it real dirty, you're gonna be able to clean these up really nice. Down here on the floor, you get these nice rubberized, or at least rubberized looking floor mats. Once again, easy clean out, because if you're gonna take this thing off the trail like Ford intends, you don't wanna get your carpet ruined. Looking here at your dash, there's not a lot to speak of. It's not fancy, it's not high end, but it is a decent looking dash. Starting over here on the left side of the wheel, you got some standard looking air vents. You got some metallic looking trim right here. Down below that, of course, is your controls for your headlights and whatnot. And right here in the center of this headlight dial, you're going to see is the aux button. That's the button that's going to control those optional off-road lights in the grille. And here's where I'm going to give Ford a slight demerit on this vehicle. Instead of making it so that aux button lights up to indicate that you've activated those lights, they instead decided to install this orange LED right below it in the trim. And I'm not really sure how to feel about that. That kind of looks like something that some guy would do in his driveway, you know, when he decides he needs to add some trail lights to his pickup truck. I definitely think that could have been done a little bit better, but this is not a luxury interior. So while I do give them a slight demerit for that, it is only a slight demerit. So now here looking at the steering wheel. Now Ford did not give the green treatment to the steering wheel, but they did give you the tangerine stitching right here on the inside of it. Not a fancy wheel, but it's decent looking. Feels decent in the hands. A little bit of perforated looking material here. You get all your basic controls that you're going to expect in any vehicle. You get some radio volume controls here, controls for your cruise and your adaptive cruise system. Over here, of course, you got your menu controls for your small screen in the gauge cluster and your phone controls right here. You also get these paddle shifters right here to manually shift that 10-speed automatic transmission. Although one definite plus to the steering wheel is it is a heated steering wheel. Now right here looking at your gauge cluster, it is a half analog, half digital. So you do get your two main gauges in an analog form, your tachometer and speedometer. Your gas gauge and temp gauge are down there on the bottom. They're somewhat digital. They just rely on a series of little lights going across each display. Well, the one we're going to look at here is right here in the center, the 6.5-inch color driver information display. And while there's really not a lot fancy to see here, we'll go through this real quick. Right here on the home screen, you've got different fuel economy displays. Here's your tire pressure monitor system, and of course your radio. Now if we hit the menu button on the steering wheel, you're going to get a few more options. Go to select screens. You can tell it what screens you want to be able to scroll through on that main screen. Fuel economy, trip 1, that kind of thing. You want your tire pressure, you want your 4-wheel drive status, trailer light check, seat belt status, that kind of thing. Back out of there, go down here to audio. You can see what's going on with that. Back out of that. Down here, go to your navigation, and you're going to tell you where you want to go, whether it's to your home, points of interest, favorite places, that kind of thing. Just a way to quickly access frequent things in your navigation. Phone controls, and there's your screen settings. So like I said, not a lot to see here. It is a nice looking screen. Of course, you got your speed limit sign right down here, and down here in the center you can see it kind of looks like a road. That's most likely where you're going to see the status indicators for the adaptive cruise when that system is on. Continuing over to the right side of the steering wheel, you can see that faux metal trim continues over here. You got your engine start stop button kind of upright and flat inside of that trim, and here in the middle is the infotainment screen option for the Timberline edition of the Explorer. This is the standard 8-inch infotainment screen for the Explorer. Now optional is a bigger 10.1 vertical display. You're going to get that as an option in higher trim Explorers, but this is what you're going to get in the Timberline. Now unfortunately your Timberline Explorer is running Ford's Sync 3 system rather than their new Sync 4, so it is going to appear a little bit outdated, but it's still pretty usable, albeit a very small screen to use. What you're looking at right now shows you do get a few multi-panel options. So here of course is your navigation. Here's going to show you what's on the radio, and there's going to be your phone displays. Of course you can pull your navigation up large size if you want. phone settings, audio, full size if you want. You also get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in this vehicle. Now, even though this is a small screen, you do still get a camera system. Of course, if we throw it in reverse, here's our backup cam, you can see behind us, and there's that top-down 360 view. Also, if we hit the camera below the screen, that's going to give you a front view. See here, right here, you can see that car right there, and there it is right there, that Civic. It's going to give you a nice front view display. Going to give you that top-down again. Click this option menu up here. You're going to get a full screen view of that front camera. Click on this one here, and you're going to get a widescreen multi-panel view. Hit that camera button again, and it'll turn all that off. Down from the screen, you get a nice storage area right here, which is there because it doesn't have the vertical screen. Nice place to throw a cell phone or coins or whatever. Below that, you get a few hard audio controls. You get your skip buttons right here, of course your power and volume right here, and your tuner knob, a few physical radio controls. And down below that, you get physical climate controls, nothing on the screen, which is really nice. Heated seats in the front, driver and passenger. Heated steering wheel. Here's your temperature controls, fan speed control right here, and everything else you expect from your climate controls. Down below that, push this button on top of this panel, open it up, you're going to get some charging. Open this cover right here, you get 12-volt round and a lighted USB A and C ports. Otherwise, it's just storage down here. You can throw things in here. Now, when we close this up, you're going to see right here is a little cutout. That way, if you are running a cable and you want to charge your phone, but you don't want this thing to have to stay open because of that, run your cables through that slot. Backing it from that, here's your automatic transmission control dial, just like in the Mustang Mach-E, the GT500, the Ford GT Supercar, and many other vehicles. You do get your dual cup holders right here. Unfortunately, you do get the electronic parking brake hold. Here's your driver mode selector. You got downhill assist and the button to turn on and off your traction control. So let's look at the center display, turn that driver mode selector, and see what it does to it. So here we are in eco mode for economical driving. Let's go to sport mode. Oh, that's a nice display. And it's going to turn your display screen red. Turn that another one. We're going to go into tow haul mode. And I kind of like how it looks like a spline shaft. That's kind of cool. And you get blue. Let's turn back. Sport, eco, normal mode. Here we go. Let's see what it does to that. Look, it's just a highway. And you get your blue screen again. Over here to slippery. It's got, oh, I like how it does that with the ice. Now let's see what we get next. We got trail mode. So there's your rocks, although you're not going to rock crawl on this thing. But I do like how it puts an off-road terrain on the display. That's kind of cool. Let's go over here to deep snow and sand. And what does it do to the display there? It kind of looks almost like sand dunes. So kind of cool. They gave us a little bit of fun animations and graphics depending on which drive mode you're in. Going back from the cup holders, you do have a wireless charging pad, but you're going to lay your phone in there in a landscape orientation. Now, unfortunately, I've already tested my Galaxy S23 Ultra in an OtterBox, and it does not fit well enough in that slot to charge, but this iPhone 8 should work just perfectly fine. There it goes. Backing up from that, here's your center console storage lid. Once again, you get this deep cypress with the tangerine stitching. Open that up, you get a little storage tray right here in the top. And diving down here, you get a 12-volt round, but no USBs. It is a decently deep storage area. Not insanely huge, but it is kind of deep. Looking up above, here is your rear view mirror. It is auto dimming, although it is not digital, but it is an auto dimming mirror, which is another feature of your Timberline technology package. Up from that, here's some controls for your optional dual panel sunroof right here. You see that big thing right there? That is a $1,600, almost $1,700 option, and it is equipped on this one, and it's a nice view. Of course, you get your controls for your interior lights, and here, of course, is your sunglass holder. Over here on the driver's side visor, your universal garage door controls, also part of the Timberline technology package. Fold this down, driver and passenger both get lighted mirrors. Open up, climb into the second row, and you're going to see the deep cypress with tangerine stitching theme continues back here. Pretty much the whole look of the front continues to the second row. Another neat touch you're going to see on the door panels is while you do still get your storage down below and a place to put a bottle, you also get a cup holder up top in the door as well for easier access to your drinks in the second row. You still get those ActiveX seats with those header gray inserts, and these are also heated seats in the second row of this Timberline Explorer. Look here in the floor, you get more of those nice mats just like in the front, so if your kids or your friends go with you on the off-road trail, you're gonna be able to clean that stuff off easily. Right here on the back center console, you do get your second row climate controls, the third of the 3 zones in this vehicle. Right here you see the heated seat controls for the second row, air position, power switch, temp, fan speed. You get USB charging, 2 USB-Cs, and instead of a 12-volt round, you get the 110-volt AC plug, which is also another part of the Timberline technology package. Go down from that, pull this out, and cup holders with stretchy sides. Looking at legroom, I am pretty much sitting right behind myself. You can see the back of these seats are indented to give you a little bit more legroom. This is not terrible. I could comfortably ride back here for at least a little while. Headroom is also okay in the second row. I feel like maybe you'd want to put the seat back a little bit. A tall person might kind of bump up against the ceiling here, but it's not too terrible. Just kind of be aware of your surroundings and where your head's at back here. I'll tell that driver to be a little more easy out on the trails if you're going to be riding back here. Otherwise, decently comfortable seats. Decent amount of leg room. All right, climbing into the third row seats now. So to get in, you can either enter between the captain's chairs if that's what you have equipped in your vehicle, or this handle right here is going to allow this second row seat to tilt down and slide forward, and you're going to be able to climb into your third row. Not easily if you're a tall fat guy, but now I'm back here, and let me pull this seat back to me, and whew, this is a bit more cramped. Now this seat can go further back than this, at which point you'd be really stuck in here as a tall person. I would reserve the third seat for your short friends and for your kids if you're going to use the third row. No amenities back here really whatsoever. You do get this odd little storage pocket below the window right here. Otherwise, nothing to see here. You do get your climate vents in front of your face, and you do get interior lighting for the third row, but that really is about it for this row. All right, now checking out the rear cargo area of your Explorer, hit the button right here and up goes your power lift gate. And here are your third row seats in their upright position. Now your standard option for your third row is for them to be manually folding. However, as another part of the Timberline technology package, you get power folding seats, as we can see right here. So of course, put your headrests down first, and then just hit your buttons right here, and they fold. Right down there. You can do one at a time, or you can do both of them. Looking at the floor in your cargo area, pick it up right here, you're going to get a little bit more storage, and it looks like another rubberized looking floor mat. And even with this in the down position, you still get a couple storage areas off to either side as well. 12-volt round power port right here, and your interior light for the cargo area. And over here on the driver's side, you get the subwoofer that's part of the 12-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system that is optional and also a part of the Timberline technology package. As far as cargo storage space here, with your third row up, you get 18 cubic feet of storage space. With the third row down, you get 48 cubic feet of storage space. And with the second row down, you get 88 cubic feet of storage space. All right, now looking up under the hood at the powertrain. Now your 2023 Explorers, depending on what trim you get, are going to come with one of three engine options. You can get a 3-liter EcoBoost V6, you get a 3.3-liter hybrid with a V6, or you get what we have in this Timberline, the 2.3-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder, which is the only engine option available in the Timberline. And if that engine happens to sound familiar to you, it is a slight variant of the same 2.3-liter EcoBoost turbocharged 4-cylinder that is present in the EcoBoost Mustang. Now here, that engine is creating 300 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. In the Mustang, it creates a little bit more. In the outgoing model up to 2023, produced 310 horsepower. Now the 2024 produces 315. This is slightly detuned at 310, but it is pretty much the same engine, and the only one you're going to get in your Timberline. Now, no matter what trim level you get, no matter what engine you equip your Explorer with, the only transmission you're getting is that 10-speed automatic. So you get a 2.3-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder with 300 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. You get rear-biased all-wheel drive, a 10-speed automatic transmission, giving you a 0 to 60 time in your Timberline Explorer of right around 6 seconds. Now, as far as fuel economy is concerned, most of your all-wheel drive 23 Explorers are going to get right around 20 mpg city, 27 highway, 23 combined. However, your Timberline, the way it is equipped with that EcoBoost 4, that all-wheel drive system, these bigger wheels and tires, fuel economy for this is only rated right around 19 city, 22 highway, 21 combined. So while this thing is cool, you will definitely be sacrificing a little bit of gas mileage for that cool. So here and there throughout this review, I've touched on the Timberline technology package, which is a $1,695 option you can get from Ford on this Timberline Explorer. And even though I've already done that, I do want to show all the features of that package at the same time in a dedicated segment. So what all does your Timberline technology package include? First of all, it includes the 12-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system with subwoofer, Bang & Olufsen makes great sounding systems. This one, of course, is no exception. You also get the auto dimming rearview mirror. You get the universal garage door opener. You get that wireless cell phone charging pad. You get that 110 volt AC outlet on the second row. You get the power folding third row seats instead of the manual. And on the outside, you get the heated power folding side view mirrors with projection lamp. Let's open the door and show that off. Now, it is too bright outside to see it on the ground, but there it is on my hand. That's kind of cool. All right, I think that's just about gonna do it for the full tour of the Explorer Timberline. Now let's get this thing out on the road and see what it's like to drive it. All right, time to drive the 2023 Ford Explorer Timberline. Our four-way takeoff, show you, here's the key right here. Nothing much to see. This is Ford's typical key. They even give it to you with the brand new Mustang. You got your typical buttons: unlock, lock, remote start, lift gate, and of course your panic. Not much to see there. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up. And let's hit it. All right, so out and driving in the 2023 Ford Explorer Timberline. Now the first thing I'll tell you is this is not the quietest vehicle that there is. That EcoBoost 4-cylinder under the hood, when you get on it, you can definitely hear it. So when you're accelerating from a stop or you're punching it, you're gonna hear that engine. Just keep that in mind if you don't like engine noise. As far as road noise is concerned, you are getting some from those Bridgestone dual all-terrain tires, but it's not horrendous. But you are getting some. I can definitely hear the road noise. More noise than you're going to get from a typical, you know, all-season street tire that isn't built for going off-road. So that's going to be another thing to consider, is if you don't want road noise, this isn't going to be the trim for you, because the factory tires are going to make some noise. One thing I am liking so far, however, is because of the off-road tuned suspension on this thing, although it's not the smoothest ride that there is, you know, it's not a luxury vehicle, it's definitely not as harsh as it could be. I'm taking some pretty minor bumps here, some little rough patch of road here. Some of this appears a little, you know, a little bumpy for my taste, but it's all right. We'll get up on the highway and see what it's like up there. Highway on-ramp. Not a problem. And more importantly, for passing slow people on the highway, this 2.3 liter EcoBoost definitely has a decent amount of power. 300 horsepower obviously is nothing to laugh at. That's going to be plenty of power for just about anything, really. With that engine, this thing is definitely no weakling. It's going to get you up to speed on the highway. You're going to be able to pass people. Highway on-ramps are not a problem. And you're going to have the power you need for the off-road setting. And if you're conservative enough, you can get, you know, low 20s as far as fuel economy is concerned. But who's going to be gentle with a turbo? As far as steering feel, of course, this is, you know, a mid-size crossover with electric power steering, and it's okay. It can sometimes feel a little bit over-assisted because of that electric power steering, but it could be worse. Okay, we are in normal mode right now. Let's go ahead and see what it feels like in normal mode accelerating. That's not too bad. That's not really nothing to complain too much about. It's not sluggish. It's not a sports car, but it's not sluggish. All right, now we're going to drop this thing into sport mode and make that acceleration run one more time, and here we go. Yeah, you get maybe a bit more. I'm not going to say it's really going to be, you know, drastically different as far as acceleration. Now, I can promise you that's not everything this car has, because I don't want to blow up a brand new engine. I say that in every video that I do about these new cars, just to assure people that I'm not an idiot. But, you know, maybe you get a little bit better, but I'm not feeling a whole heck of a lot. Let's drop it back down into normal mode and see maybe if I feel a difference there. I mean, maybe. I'm not feeling a whole heck of a lot, though. The important modes on here, though, because this is a Timberline edition, are going to be your different off-road modes. Those are the ones you're really going to care about in this particular level of the new Explorer. Now, an important thing to keep in mind if you're considering an Explorer Timberline is this. This is not a major off-road vehicle. The Explorer as a whole is a unibody midsize SUV competing with things like, you know, Honda Pilot, Toyota Highlander, things like that. And while this is more capable than some of those, you still got things that are a heck of a lot more capable than this. Ford's own Bronco is far more capable. If you're looking for something for more extreme off-roading, that's going to be what you want. I have watched a video or two where somebody has taken an Explorer Timberline off-road, and what you're looking at with this is more moderate type of off-roading. You're going to be able to take it over some rough patches, through some mud puddles a few inches deep. You're going to be able to get through some ruts that aren't extremely deep. We're talking about moderate off-roading. We're not talking about rock crawling, nothing extremely technical, nothing you're going to want, say, a Jeep Wrangler or a Bronco or a 4Runner or something like that for. Remember that all those vehicles have true four-wheel drive systems where you can select high and low range four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive. What you've got here is just a rear-wheel biased all-wheel drive system. And while it is pretty capable off-road, it's not an extreme off-road vehicle. Towing, this thing will tow right around 5,000 to 5,300 pounds, which is right in line with competitors such as the Toyota Highlander. Now, if you want to be able to tow a few hundred pounds more, we're talking maybe up to 56, 57, something like that, then you're going to want to get some other trims that aren't outfitted for off-roading. The people this is probably going to be for are going to be more of the ones that want something that's decently comfortable, gets okay gas mileage, they can haul the family out to the trails in, and pull their ATV or side by side. Now, the one thing I haven't covered yet is pricing. So your 23 Ford Explorer Timberline is a base price of right around $49,000. And then of course you add options such as the technology package and other things on the online configurator. And you're gonna of course run that price up. This one here as equipped, it has the dual panel sunroof as well as the technology package. This one as equipped sitting on the lot is right around $53,000 or so. So that is of course one other thing you've got to consider if you're thinking about, you know, a mid-size, moderately capable off-road SUV. Is the low to mid $50,000 range something you're willing to pay for that type of vehicle? Anyways, folks, I think that's just about going to do it for this review on the 2023 Ford Explorer Timberline. I think this is a really cool vehicle. Back when I was in my 20s, I actually had a couple of different first generation Explorers. I had a 93 two-door Eddie Bauer and I had a 93 four-door Eddie Bauer a little later on. And I really liked those SUVs. And of course, those were body on frame. They were more like trucks, of course, than, you know, your new stuff is. But I really liked those big 4-liter V6 engines had plenty of power, and they were a pretty great truck, despite their unfortunate nickname of Ford Exploder. Fast forward 30 years from when those first gens came out, and here's where we are now, a unibody mid-size crossover that most people aren't going to take anywhere off-road. Luckily, Ford does now give us the option of doing that with the Explorer Timberline. We have certainly come a long way since the original body-on-frame truck, that's for sure. But like I said, folks, that's all I got for you today. If you liked this review, you found it informative, and it helped you come to a decision as to whether or not you'd like to get one of these, then that makes me incredibly happy. If you did like this video and you want to see what else this channel has to offer, please make sure to go back to the main channel page, check out what else is on that page. I've got a lot more reviews than just this on there, and of course some other content that you may end up liking as well. If you do like what you see on the channel and you want to be a subscriber, please definitely click that subscribe button. Make sure to turn on your bell notifications. That way you'll always know when a new video comes up. Also follow over on Facebook and Instagram at that car vlog channel. It's another great way to get notified when new videos go up, just in case something goes wrong with YouTube. Once again, special thanks to the folks at Ted Russell Ford in Knoxville, Tennessee for allowing me to use this Explorer Timberline for today's review. Once you get done here, do make sure to check them out at the link in the description below. And if you are in the market for a new Ford here in the East Tennessee area, definitely consider giving them your business, because these have been amazing people to work with. Anyways, thanks you all so much for watching, and you have yourselves an amazing day.